So let's quickly identify what Gullah is again, so you two can catch up. So Gullah is not 100% English, but it's an English-based Creole language. It's mixed with over 40 different African languages. So when all these enslaved people came here, they didn't know English. They came from different African tribes speaking different languages. So they come to this new world, this English colony, where most of these people were isolated on these islands that had no bridges to them, and even plantations that were not on islands. They were still isolated because these people didn't venture on and off these plantations. Many died on the same plantation they were born on. And the hundreds of sea islands, from Jacksonville, North Carolina to the north of us, all the way down the coast to Jacksonville, Florida. And from the ocean inland, we call this the Gullah Geechee Heritage Corridor. So it consists of the northern coast of Florida, the southern coast of North Carolina, the entire coast of South Carolina and Georgia. In this area, there are over 20 sea islands, but only 5 are Gullah Islands: James Johns, Guatemala, Edisto, and Young's Island. And James Island is the one that was depicted in the movie Glory. Who saw Glory? It starred Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, Matthew Broderick. The true story took place on James Island and nearby Morris Island, but the movie was filmed in Georgia. Now everybody say Geechee.
Geechee.
That's another word that's very often associated with Gullah. The origin of the word Gullah derived from the country name Angola. The origin of Geechee derived from an African tribe known as the Geechee tribe. Both Gullah and Geechee are used interchangeably. Some say, I'm speaking Gullah talk, I'm speaking Geechee talk. Where the Gullahs live, where the Geechees live. There are 4 reasons why we're called Geechees. 1, because of rice is the main reason. 2, the language. 3, the culture. 4, the water. The water's brought these folk and they live near the water. So ladies, you're supposed to yes, Al.
Yes, sir.
I'm just a big teaser, okay, everybody? Don't keep your pocketbooks on the floor. You never have no money. I'm sure you And New Year's Day, never let that woman be the first out of the house. Anybody heard that? Must have been man. It's bad luck.
Never heard that. And don't.
You never heard that one? Okay. This city was settled 1670 by the English. 2 years later, 1672, the first slave ship arrived. It arrived on an island called Sullivan's Island. It was on that island where these enslaved Africans were quarantined for at least 10 days. They brought into town to be sold and traded. Now, where they were brought into the city, that tract of land is called Gaston Wharf. Have you been to the new museum, anybody?
Yes.
All right. The new museum was built on a tract of land called Gaston Wharf. That's where the blacks were offloaded into the city. That's where they were placed in warehouses in horrible conditions. From there they were sold throughout the French Quarter. Now, one horrible thing that happened there. They stuffed in the early 1800s over 600 in a warehouse in horrible conditions. With no heat, cold snap came through, no heat, and you know the answer. They froze to death. So the new museum, let's rise above the horrible things that happen here. This is sacred ground. Let's rise above those things. So that's why, so that you know that. These are the West African countries these blacks came from. Ghana, the Ivory Coast, Sierra Leone, Benin, Cameroon, Congo, Togo, Mali, Senegal, and Nigeria. Is it getting warm back there?
Oh, no.
Okay. These blacks had numerous skills. One of the main skills they had is this. They knew how to plant and cultivate rice. As you said, rice. So everybody say rice.
Rice.
This is the first city in this country. The year was 1694, in which rice was first planted and cultivated.
Wow.
These West Africans have been planting rice and eating rice for generations. And many of the Europeans, those white folk, had never seen or eaten rice until they came here. It's true. Rice became such a cash crop to our economy until rice and slave labor caused this city to be the richest city in America for 90 years. Yes, you heard me. Now, New York, all them big cities now, back then this city had more money than those cities. Who caused it? Because of rice and slave labor. So if it was the richest city, what really does that mean? It means that the wealthy slave owners were in South Carolina. Most of them were here in Charleston. Let me name some names, and I guarantee you, if you stay here long enough, you meet black folk with these same last names as these white folk. Middleton, Drayton, Pinckney, Hayward, Manigault, Aiken, Rutledge, Gibbs, Seabrook, Ravenel, Palmer, Murray, Austin, okay, Pringle, Gaston, Boone, Rivers. Now I can name more, but that's enough. Some of those names sound from Charleston, the U.S. Constitution, the Declaration of Independence. Otherwise, they were the wealthiest white folk in this country. They got rich because of people who look like us. Okay, that's my point. We can't talk about Charleston and Rice and not talk about Georgetown. It's 60 miles to our north. Georgetown County produced more rice than Charleston County. How much? 140,000 rice fields. You heard exactly what I said, 140,000 rice fields. 150 rice plantations, several rice fields. Rice required fresh water. 5 freshwater rivers run through that county. The Black River, the PD River, the Waccamaw River, the Sandpit River, and the North and South Santee Rivers. These are the rivers in this area. The Ashley River, the Cooper River, the Wando River, the Folly River, the Stono River, the Wallace River, the Eddystone River, the Ashley Poo, and the famous Combahee. Harriet Tubman, you know who she was. You know what I call that woman? A brave soldier. You all look at me. She made 6 trips to this deep south, south of here, crossing that river 6 times, escaping black folk to the north. That's mind-boggling. There's no such thing as a cell phone, no such thing as a GPS.
Okay.
But she made it. And the bridge that crosses that river south of here is the Harriet Tubman Memorial Bridge. So with all that being said, we're going to get rolling. Most black folk from the Carolinas and Georgia, now this is my little rice summer now, a meal is not a meal unless you got yourself some rice. And it don't matter how much macaroni and cheese, potato salad and pasta, we got to have ourselves some rice.
That's right.
Now let me give an example. Talk about my parents. When I was a child, Mama cooked grits every morning for breakfast. Now let me stop there. When I left home for college, I didn't know any better. I just assumed everybody in the world ate grits for breakfast like me. That's why we all need to leave home and quit being critical of other people, because everybody grew up like you, everybody grew up like me. And then Mama cooked rice in the noonday and at night. Now ladies, when I say ladies, gentlemen, I'm not ignoring you. Ladies, when Friday night in 1969, I'm a child, Mama decided to be kind and nice and sweet to my daddy. Decided not to cook rice for one night, but mashed potatoes instead. Oh, that was a big mistake. We sat down to eat. He realized there's no rice, and he goes, snapped at her, Dorothy, where's the rice? Seemed like electricity went through Mama. She got mad, put them hands on her hips like some of you black women still do, and I'm not on this supposed to get in your business, because you don't have to admit nothing to me. And she looked at Daddy, she said, son, I'm tired of fixing rice. And the argument started. Mama lost the argument. You won't know why she lost it, because back then those old men were the breadwinners. Back then those old men were demanding. Back then those old men could just be flat hell. And I'm talking about my daddy, I ain't trying to figure out nobody daddy, granddaddy on this, but I'm talking about my daddy. And then it was 10 of us. Mama got married at 15. When she was 30, she had my baby. This is a 10 child, 30 years old. So ladies, I'm looking you in the face, ladies. Who you think wanted my mama and 10 children? No, where's she going with 10 children? How's she gonna fall out with 10 children? Think about it. Nowhere. She went in that kitchen, she cooked that rice, and she kept some peace. That's what she did. Some of you all know what I'm talking about, because some of you probably has had situations, but I don't need to know that. That's not what the story's about. Yeah. And so today it's a different ball game. Now, my dad's deceased. Mama's still here. I went up home to my home church's homecoming yesterday, so she's in a nursing home. A little over 3 years ago, she had a stroke. And guess what the doctor told my brother? She might live to see 2 months. Mama lived to be over 3 years. She's just turned 93 in June. But this is the main thing. Now you young ladies are gonna love my mama. And guess what she said? these young girls ain't gonna take what we took. She said, these young girls, and they're gonna say, baby, I work. I make more money than you. I ain't cooking no rice. Go to the deli and get your rice. This is your week to cook, clean the house, and wash the dishes. I don't know about you, but my dad didn't do them 3 things. And some of your dads and granddads did not do them 3 things either. And then by this time, the young lady's upset with her husband. She don't like her mother-in-law. Let your mama cook your rice. By this time, it's really heated. You all know what I'm talking about, the devil. Now, this is Highway 17. It's better known as the Septimal Peacock Parkway. Now, this black woman marched off without the king. She lost her job in 1956 as a teacher because she refused to give up her membership in the NAACP. So she sued the state of South Carolina for back pay and won. Yeah. All right, everybody say West Side.
West Side?
The west side of town. How do you know? These are called freedmen's cottages. They were built for free persons after the Civil War. Who were free after the war? Where's black people were. Now look up here by me. You see this tree in the middle of the street? This is where the lynch and the hanging tree once stood. Right up here to your left. We need to get a picture of it. There's a lynching or hanging tree. Lynching. Right, it was right here. The old tree died. I'm only going to talk about one name. Very far out the fourth name from the bottom. You all see the name that says Harvey Gantt? Does that name ring a bell to any of you? Harvey Gantt was born in Charleston. He's a 1960 graduate of Burke High School. He was the first black to integrate Clemson University. The Gants graduated from Clemson, married, moved to Charlotte, and Harvey became the first black mayor of Charlotte. He's now the mayor anymore, but the Harvey Gantt Museum is there. Mrs. Cheryl Felix Swinton is the principal of Burke, and her husband is the pastor of Ebenezer AME Church on the east side of town. River, about 3.5 miles, and landed on a tract of land called Charlestown Landing. That tract of land remained in town for 10 years. Then the English moved the town on the peninsula we just left from. Keep looking to the right. 22 miles up this beautiful river, Somerville. From downtown Charleston to Somerville, there were over 30 plantations along this. Now, think about the kitchen house. The black woman started cooking at 12, now she's 16. Wow. And she's still a virgin, and Master got his eyes on her. You know where I'm going with this conversation. He made his move last night. She didn't like what happened. She got to prepare his breakfast in the morning. What is she going to do?
Poison him.
Poison him, spit in the pan.
You said pink and red.
If you were to walk on the edge of the woods where we were a moment ago. Look now, see them slave cabins? See them?
Wow.
He said a family stayed there in 19.
To the 60s. Okay, anyway, that's the excuse for going into this parking lot with the banks open. But get the pictures to the best you can. You can't step out now. The weekends, yes. To the best you can. The Stono River. And it's named for the Stono Indians. In 1739, the Stono River Rebellion occurred. The English and the Spaniards hated each other. The Spaniards told the enslaved Africans, if you could make it to Spanish Florida, which is St. Augustine, the King of Spain would accept you as free persons and grant you land. So a black man named Jimmy led 20 some other blacks across this river on North Johns Island. Johns Island was straight ahead of us. He led them to Hutchinson's store. The store had a sale of guns and ammunition. They overpowered the white store clerks and killed them. They took guns, ammunition, and other valuables. And they began to march southward toward Florida, burning plantations, killing whites. 64 enslaved Africans left various plantations and joined the Black Army. Now the numbers are over 80. Lieutenant Governor William Bull gathered a posse of white men. The white army goes out to the black army and catches up with them about 30 miles west of downtown Charleston, near this town of Jacksonboro. 44 blacks were killed and 21 whites. these subdivisions you see, if you were to add, there's some scholars who only believe this to be about 400 years old. It's believed to be the largest tree east of the Mississippi. Today it's called the Angel Oak Tree Park and is owned by the city of Charleston.
This is the Angel Oak Tree, one of the most famous landmarks in Charleston, in and around Charleston. We are currently on the Gullah Geechee tour with Mr. Al. When you come to Charleston, this is the one. I'll give you all the information. This is the one to be on. This is the one for us. When you come to Charleston, I'll give you all the information. Y'all stay tuned for highlights. The Gullah Geechee tour, Charleston, South Carolina, this next time. This should be it. DEEZEyez.
Smalls, better known as Porgy, born 1889, died 1924. Now look, the inspiration for the Boss Havers novel Porgy, and later the opera Porgy and Bess by Hayward and Gersh. Now hold on, and you can stop up if you want to. The tombstone behind that says with flowers, Elvira Smalls Gibbs, 1869-1961. That is the mother's grave. That's not his grave. When he died, he didn't have a tombstone. So the Porgy and Bess Company took that tall tombstone and placed it on his mom's grave. That's a Jewish tradition. When you walk into a cemetery to visit, leave a rock or stone indicating we were here. Now, when I was a child, let's say grandmama died, and there was a bunch of grandchildren. When the funeral procession arrived at the cemetery, 2 men from the funeral home would get involved in a ritual called passing the child or passing children. Who's heard of this? Any of you have you? We are climbing Jacob's ladder. Oh, we are climbing Jacob's ladder. Oh, we are climbing Jacob's ladder. Soldiers of the cross. Oh, every round goes higher. Okay, all right, now I'm gonna make some restaurant suggestions. Now, one I want to make is called Gilley's, but it's closed today. It was open yesterday, but at least you know where it is. See here to your left? This is Gilley's Seafood, see it? There's parking in the river. They're closed today. Now, what is open today is Rodney Scott's Barbecue is open every day. Do you know about this?
Yes.
Okay. He's a black guy from Hemingway, South Carolina. He started a family restaurant there in that area. And now there's one here, one in Atlanta, one in Birmingham. Rodney Scott. He not only sells barbecue but chicken and fish. So I recommend his place. Another place I recommend. Have you heard of Hannibal's Kitchen?
Yes.
Have you been there?
Not yet.
Not yet, but you'll see that at the very end of the tour.
I can't get it out.
Now look at the creek. This is Ellis Creek. Why is it called it? Because in front of us used to be the Ellis Plantation. The marble front to the right. Now look to your left. The house trimmed in green. And 12 million. Who were some of the original owners? Slave owners, plantation owners, ship owners, some all of the above. Look to your left. These flowers to the left are poison. They're called oleanders. Some local women have been known to take these leaves to boil tea to poison their husbands. That's why they call it widow's tea. One lady said, no, it's I love you honey tea. Another one said, I love you to death tea. Look to the right. This is a museum open to the public called the Edmondson Austin House. Now, these were built specifically for blacks in the 1940s. My name is Al Miller. I'm the owner of Sights and Insights Tours in Charleston. 843-552-9995. That's the business number to sell, 843-696-8933. I conduct a 1, 2, and 2.5 hour Black History Gullah Geechee Pork and Best Tour. And I'll be picking that thing Hunako Gullah to y'all. Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Loved it, man. I'm telling you.
Well, thank you.
I'm glad we did this one.
3 hours later.
Down here at the wharf in Charleston, South Carolina, saying goodbye to the Carnival Sunshine, the ship that you all will be on the Harrison family cruise next spring. We're looking forward to it. How about y'all? Anyway, Cheryl's birthday weekend is coming to a close tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed what you saw. Stay tuned for some more highlights before we close it out. We don't know what we're doing tonight, so I can't say.
Play it by ear.
Because when you're old and retired, that's what you do. Everything is spontaneous. Everything. Peace out, y'all. Stay tuned for more highlights.
Bye.
cranberry. Oh my.